It's only at night that there are no shadows. We finally reached this stage of the project. I confess that I was very anxious about this part. Seeing the character that I had idealized for so long become 3D is a magical feeling. A habit that I brought from my experience in design is to create a briefing for each project that I develop, no matter how big it is. The briefing not only helps us identify everything that will be needed in terms of resources, but also helps us see more clearly how the project will unfold in stages and how much time will be needed to complete each one. For art projects, I like to divide what needs to be done into macro categories. Sometimes some projects already make it clear which macro stage it will have, so the division can also start from there. For this project, I have to customize the doll with makeup, make her wig, and create the outfit, which includes clothes and jewelry. My main source of inspiration was elements from medieval and ancient costumes, with a bit of inspiration from Greek and Roman costumes. However, since my intention is not to represent a specific space and time, I let my imagination flow a little and also drew from other sources. I left to jewelry and headpieces the role of bringing an exotic and unusual tone to the costumes. In addition, I took great advantage of the influence that the house sparrow has in this story, not only for elements but also for the color palette. Making the wig was a process that began weeks ago, when I started researching the right fiber to best represent Haveena's long and golden hair. I chose to use premium mohair. This type of mohair is very soft and silky and hugely reduces the work of embellishing the wig, therefore also reduce the time spent on this stage. Despite this, I would like to try the process of transforming and customize mohair in some future project. I believe that the learning curve will be awesome. After finishing the wig, I let it dry and started the makeup process. The first big challenge I had to overcome was the inaccuracy of the doll's facial structure. Since I could not sculpt it myself, I looked for a mold that would be as close as possible to the face I had drawn, and that would also fit within my budget. So the challenge was to try to get as close to the illustration through makeup. First of all, I start with 3 or 4 layers of matte sealant. I always start with the larger areas and finish with the details. I use chalk pastels to create the shadows and depth of the face, which is crucial to recreating the doll facial structure. I also use them to create the base color for the eye region, cheeks and mouth. For the details, I use diluted acrylic paint. This is how I paint the eyes, eyebrows and corners of the mouth. While drying between layers, I started making the outfit. Based on the references I have chosen, I began to sketch out some designs. I wanted to balance fluidity and structure, bring a bit of lightness and freedom of expression of movement through the clothes, but rigorousness and a sense of symbolic restraint through the jewelry and accessories. To convey delicacy and fragility, I choose a thin and light fabric, capable of following and adapting to what is imposed on it, just like our character. At the same time, I also wanted to convey strength and a desire for nonconformity. I left this role to the jewelry and headpieces. I chose the color gold for the metals because gold has this incredible power to be transformed into something new if we so choose, and become something completely different from what it once was. Gold can also be seen as a symbolic representation of the sun or its light. I hope you enjoyed this journey. Tell me what you think of the final result. Do you think it's worth it creating a mini model of your character? Have you ever done this before? Tell me in the comments. I will see you in the next video, which will be the first video in a new series I am creating for the channel, The Artist Journey. In this series, I will talk about career and growth as an artist and talk a little about my experience. See you soon.